Hello everyone, welcome back to another Dreambound episode. Dude, I've been playing this for hours because this tea is getting piping hot, bro. Ba 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 ba. And I'm so excited that it's getting so spicy. So we just figured out that the killer is Kaine, which is what I've been hypothesizing for a while. And may I note, it's getting really rainy, which is suspicious. Anyways, Noah wondered Noah wondered, terrified, whether Kaine would pull the trigger after all and end Asher's life for good. But then Kaine let his right arm drop. All the strength seemed to vacate his body. The grip on his gun slackened, the weapon falling to the floor, hitting the grassy ground harmlessly, with a soft thud. Then Kaine turned. Noah couldn't see Kaine's face when he next addressed him, but he could hear the hurt in Kaine's voice. It was so intense, his vocal cords seemed to throb from it. "I'm sorry, Noah. I didn't want you to see me like this. I didn't mean to hurt you. I thought this was what you wanted, but..." Kaine paused. He swallowed. "I guess I didn't understand you after all. Some best friend I am, huh?" Weakly, Kaine laughed, though it was without any humor. His laugh was even colder in the rain, which fell from the sky, drumming against the riverbank. It was such a joyless sound. It twisted Noah's insides. He wanted to approach Kaine, to ask him why he did what he did, but he couldn't. His feet were rooted to the ground. All he could do was stand there, shaking as Kaine walked away. He thought that Kaine might have muttered something before his departure. "Forgive me," maybe, but the rain was coming down so hard that Noah could hardly hear him. Noah's broad back, which had always looked so dependable, retreated. Dude, this sucks. I just romanced him for what? Then he disappeared. One moment, Kaine was there, and the next he wasn't. It was almost as if he had never been there at all. Kaine's discarded gun remained, however, on the riverbank, its sleek black exterior glossy from the falling rain. It served as a reminder that this was really real. Even if the scene laid out before Noah, the crumpled Asher, the discarded pistol, was all a dream. "Noah?" Noah heard Crow's voice from his right, or at least he thought he did. It was raining so intently that Noah's thoughts were racing so much he was no longer sure. "Noah, are you all right?" "Hey." Noah crouched down, perhaps meaning to rest a steady hand on Noah's shoulder, but... "Noah?" Before Crow could reach him, the last vestiges of strength left him. Noah's body crumpled as though he were a puppet, one whose strings had been cut. He slumped forward, his knees hitting the muddy... Whoa, crazy. Muddy riverbank. "Noah? Noah?" Noah's torso crumpled. His eyelids fell shut, and then there was nothing. Did I just get stabbed in real life? Ayo. "Noah?" Nothing except for the sound of Crow's frantic cries and the low, constant hum of the falling rain. Tea. Noah gasped when he awoke with a sudden thwump of his back meeting the mattress, which made him start. Oh, right, their bodies aren't like they are when they're doing that, right. His eyes snapped open and he felt a little more dazed, and he glanced around his room. His room, however, was not how he remembered it. He was not in his apartment, with the trash canvases and the dried-out paint palettes scattered around across the floor. Neither was he in Kaine's pristine home. It seems instead, as though he had gone back to his childhood. The bookshelves and the wardrobe and the desk were all intimately familiar, but they were relics of a different time, a bygone era. They were all shadows from his past. A few moments later, Noah wondered whether the intensity of the dream had muddled his mind when, "Oh no, I am in my parents' place. I came back here with Kaine so I could talk to Asher. How could I have forgotten?" Noah's head throbbed. He sat up wincing, the cover shifting about him, and he pressed his shaking hand to his temple. Kaine. Noah could remember everything he had seen in the dream in vivid detail. Kaine had been there, and so had Asher. It had been raining, Asher's long hair clinging to his pale skin, rivulets of water coursing down his cheeks as Kaine... Ugh. Another fork of pain pierced Noah's head. He didn't want to think about it. He didn't want to believe it, but Kaine, he really did mean to kill Asher. He killed my parents. Kaine's killings might have taken place in dreams, separated from the real world, but what was real and what was not had begun to blur in Noah's mind. He could no longer see where his dreams ended and reality began. Kaine might have killed them in their dreams, but they still died in real life. Doesn't that make him a murderer? What, Moida? I guess it could have been an accident at first with my mother, but he kept on doing it. Dude, I'm gonna be real. Not every person he killed was like the most awful, terrible person on the planet. The mother who pitted her children against each other and constantly made them feel inadequate and not good enough got killed. Oh no. His dad, I don't remember what his dad did. I think his dad was like really complacent and terrible and awful. And like supported his mom. Terrible. I wasn't sad that he died either. Luca, oh, we all knew how I feel about Luca. I don't know who those other people were, but the people that he killed were like really awful people. I'm not saying they deserve to die, but I'm not mad that they died either. I'm gonna pull a what, Moida. I'm gonna be real. If they give me the chance, I'm pulling a what, Moida. I guess it could have been an accident. Oh yeah, I read that. There's no way Sebastian's death was an accident. Or Lucas. Who's Sebastian? I don't remember that one. He knew what he was doing. He's a cold-blooded killer. But why did he do it? Noah turned the question over in his head for several minutes while sitting up in bed, his body motionless. He stared at the wall with sightless eyes, his fingers scrunched up on his lap. Before, with a sigh, he rose, staring back at the spot in the bed next to him, the spot Kaine had been last night, the spot that they had been pressed together in. I need to talk to Kaine. Yo, they really did take my romantic moment and go, you want to date him? Well, he's a murderer. I'm like, and what? What, Moida? Bet nerd. This, however, was easier said than done. Yeah, I don't know where he would have gone. He probably left. Noah changed and then shuffled downstairs. He looked for Kaine in the living room where he had been sleeping, and the kitchen where he might conceivably have been preparing breakfast, but he's not here, huh? Well, that tracks. Of course he isn't. I don't imagine he'd want to hang around after I caught him holding a gun to my brother's head. Still, that really proves it, huh? What happened last night, it wasn't a dream. Or rather, it was a dream, but it's a dream that really happened. Kaine was seriously going to kill my brother. How can I make any excuses for him now? What, Moida? I do it all the time. Noah did another scan of the house, wondering whether he might happen upon Kaine, but he truly didn't believe in it. He already knew deep down that Kaine was gone. I mean, he mightn't be near the river or something. Did he run away? After he told me he'd confront the past too? What a hypocrite. Noah did notice something curious, however, in his search. Kaine's car was still parked outside in the driveway. He'd gone, but he couldn't have gone too far. He wondered what the odds... Please don't tell me. Don't. I'm gonna throw myself off a bridge. I wonder what the odds are he just headed out early to pick up some groceries. Yeah, probably not. Noah collapsed onto the couch, sighing and then retrieving his phone from his pocket. He scanned it, half hoping there might be something from Kaine. Not even a message. It's not like him at all. But do I even really know what is and isn't like him? Noah sent a couple texts to Kaine, but he didn't expect a response. He wasn't too disappointed, therefore, when his texts remained unreplied. Hell, Kaine hadn't even seen them. Did he even take his phone with him wherever he is? I have no idea. Noah tried to call Kaine after the texts failed, but it went straight to his voicemail. Hey, it's Kaine. Sorry I can't be here to answer the phone. If it's something urgent, I'll try to get back to you as soon as... Crap. Noah cursed as he hung up the phone. His brow wrinkled with anxiety. This was an urgent matter of the utmost supreme degree. I really added some extra words in there, but it seemed unlikely that Kaine would want to talk about it over the phone. Would Kaine want to talk to him at all after everything that happened? I mean, if he said forgive me, he just wants you to be... Dude, I'm telling you right now, if they give me the option, I'm pulling a what, Moida. I'm going to be like, don't ever do that again. But like, what, Moida? No, I wasn't banking on it. Well, now what? I didn't work all this time for God knows how... We're on part... What part is this? Literally, what part are we on? 13. I am not on part 13 of Dreambound, of trying to date Kaine. First, I give up. We're going to date him. And if we get to the end of this and I don't, I'm rewriting my memory. Noah cast his phone onto the table and leaned back into the chair. He thought about Kaine and about their confrontation last night. And then he thought about Asher. He remembered his brother's face and how stricken he had looked. How wide his eyes. Noah had never seen Asher looking so vulnerable, not even in his dream. When Noah had confronted him with the newly gleaned knowledge that he had failed a class, he failed to pay, whatever. The terror on Asher's face had been palpable, but of course it was. Kaine did have a gun pressed against his head. I wonder. Anxiety began to curdle in the pit of Noah's stomach. Not for Kaine this time, who might have done something foolish, but for Asher. Kaine had left Asher alone in the dream, but there's no guarantee he didn't return to finish the job. I doubt he would at this point. It seemed important all of a sudden for Noah to call his brother. He had to know if he was all right. Noah retrieved his phone once again and then with shaking fingers. Hello? Fishers? Help. He pulled up Asher's contact information and called him. The phone buzzed as Noah pressed it to his ear and he cursed under his breath. Oh, come on, Asher. Pick up the phone. Come on. The phone rang for what felt like entirely too long. Noah's insides all the while squirmed. He was just about to begin to lose hope when on the 7th ring it connected. Hey, Noah, what the heck? Asher's voice was bleary from lack of sleep and not particularly happy. This, however, was par of the course. Asher was never happy when he spoke to Noah. He sounded just the same as usual, no worse for wear, after his brush with death. Did he not remember it? Hey, Asher, I just wanted to ask. I don't care what you just wanted to ask. It's 6:30 in the morning, and it better be a good reason to wake me up at this godforsaken hour. Unless you're trying to piss me off even more. He hadn't been talking to Asher for that long, but his relief knowing Asher was all right was rapidly dwindling. Part of him wondered if whether it would have been such a bad thing if Kaine really had killed him. You can't do that back and forth, buddy. I'm letting you know. You can't be like, oh, I can't believe that Kaine killed all those people, and then sit there and go, well, I'm not mad that they're dead. You know what I mean? Like, you can't say stuff like that, okay? But no. Asher might have been a jerk, but he didn't deserve to die. No, I'm not trying to piss you off. Why would I bother? I seem to piss you off just by existing. Noah's reply was deadpan, devoid of the early anxiety he'd felt. Slay. We love not having anxiety over our dead brother, possibly. He wouldn't have been surprised if Asher had ended the call there, but... Well, you're not wrong about that. At least you're self-aware. He snorted. Now, what do you want? This might sound kind of weird, but I was wondering if you dreamt anything last night. Yeah, you're right. That is weird. Asher scoffed. Don't tell me you called so we could have a heart-to-heart about our dreams of all things. No, I'm not delusional. I don't expect a sincere heart-to-heart with you. I was just curious. And you woke me up before 7 out of sheer curiosity? Maybe I did. How about you try just humoring me for once? You might not get it now, but it's important. Important, huh? Asher sighed. I've heard enough about dreams from Daisy to last a lifetime. She was always talking about them, too. Your ex, I guess. Don't you know that already? But whatever. To answer your question, if I dreamt anything last night, which I might have, since you woke me up so early, I don't remember it. Not a single thing? Not one. Why? I feel like I'm being interrogated right now. No, well, kind of. It's a bit hard to explain. That's what Daisy always said, too, when I asked her exactly what she was researching. You and her aren't working together, are you? Noah thought back on his brief meeting with Daisy in Asher's dream, and he shook his head. No, but I did meet her briefly. You met her? That depends on your definition of meet. Well, that. It's also complicated, too, is it? I should have figured. Noah sighed. Well, never mind. I've heard everything I wanted to hear. I'll see you later? Sure, whatever. With a maddeningly non-committal reply, one which could by no means be called polite, which was rather Asher-like, the other line went dead silent. He must have hung up. Noah slid the phone back into his pocket, his expression pensive. So Asher isn't dead. That's a silver lining, at least. I mean, yeah, he's probably not going to kill him. He was like, oh, you don't want this. Dang, I'll stop. What about Kaine, though? Where could he have gone? Noah rose to his feet and then stared at the fridge. It was a great white appliance, smooth and clean, which hummed. Kaine had left Noah a note. Noah remembered that first day that he had stayed in the apartment when he had gone back to work. But the front of his parents' fridge was barren. There was no color-filled magnets on the fridge door, no shopping lists or to-do lists tacked on there. Kaine hadn't left him a single thing. Well, so much for that. I guess I should have expected it, though. Kaine's obviously run away, but I doubt he wants me to find him. You better go find him. Why would he leave a note? That would defeat the purpose. Noah sighed as he reclined, his fingers pinching the bridge of his nose. He could feel the beginning of his headache coming on. He knew he ought to make something to eat, or, failing that, something to drink, but he couldn't bring himself to move. He felt weary, but no, it wasn't even that. His fatigue was so great, it felt as though he had been crushed. Noah hadn't had to worry during the last week about making his own food. Kaine had always taken care of that. Kaine had always taken care of a lot of things. Maybe I have been taking him for granted. I never realized just how much he did for me. But it's a bit too late to think about that now. Noah looked at his phone. His texts and calls had all gone ignored and unanswered. Is this how Kaine felt when I didn't reply to him? Yes, I love that we're still thinking about it. He's really not taking this as seriously as he should, I think. Oh my gosh, I was trying to... One of my coworkers just texted me Happy New Year, and I almost put Happy New New. Stupid. Stupid, stupid. I'm so dumb. Anyways. Oh, now you have the timestamp for this, though, even though this will come out way after New Year's. Don't think about it too much. Uneasily, Noah gnawed on the inside of his cheek. Dude, I just started this? That's so cray. He gnawed so hard it hurt. The taste of iron filled his mouth and he winced. Ouch. Of course, if Kaine had been there, he would have chided Noah for doing that. He continued to live up to his teenage title of the mom friend even now. August might have been gone, but Kaine had always been determined to look after Noah. And he had done his very best, hadn't he? Was all of this killing really part of that? Kaine had always said he wanted to make me happy, and I don't think he was lying. He's sincere, I think. Maybe he thought getting rid of the people who had wronged me, it would offer me a sense of catharsis? Did he think it would make me happy? I don't think Kaine would kill people for the thrill of it. He's not like that. He must have thought he was acting for the greater good. I can almost feel his logic behind it, even though it is twisted. What would August have thought about this? He would have hated the idea of people dying like this. If only he was still around, he could have talked more sense into Kaine than I ever could. Noah frowned, still gnawing at the inside of his teeth. The tang of blood was still present. Noah was so lost in thought, however, it didn't register. If August was still alive, and we'd broken up, would August have gotten targeted too? Then again, if he was still alive, then Kaine never would have done this to begin with. It's my own fault. Kaine never would have hurt August, would he? No, I don't like that. I don't like you prepping me for that. I don't like that. You better put that right away. I can't what murder that one. I can what murder every single other one. August was a good person. I can't what murder that one, buddy. Noah shook the thought from his brain, trying to rid the thoughts from his... Oh, yeah, whatever. Oh, no. But instead they began to settle. A few weeks ago, Kaine had said he was there when August died, and that's how he knew Crow couldn't possibly be him. Noah had dismissed the notion entirely, but he'd been at the hospital, sure, but there was no way it was anything more than that. No, Noah was on the mountainside that night, not Kaine. Noah was the one who failed August, not Kaine. It was an accident. That's what everyone had said. He'd slipped in the rain. No, on an even train and he fell. But Noah hadn't seen August in his ward. By the time he'd gotten to the hospital, August was already... What am I thinking? August's death has nothing to do with Kaine. That was years ago. Kaine would have never hurt him. I don't believe that anymore. Kaine might have killed his parents. He might have tried to kill his brother. But he and August were friends. There would be no reason for August to hurt him back then. Dude, he was in love with you bad. If he really is killing people to help me heal, then that would make no sense. I have to find him. I have to talk to him. Dude, he would totally... I'm telling you, it's giving yandere shit. Like, he's like, that's my man, so he kills August. And then he's like, you're hurting my man, so he kills all of his family members. Oh, dude, this is crazy. Oh, Noah's eyes hardened with resolve, and then he rose to his feet. He knew all of a sudden what he had to do. Dude, also I have to say, of course the character I always like is always the killer. Why can't I have happiness, bro? What the heck? He couldn't simply sit within his parents' living room, waiting for Kaine to call him. He had to go looking himself. The time for inaction was over. Yeah, I'd go to that riverbank first. That's the first place I would go. Crap. Noah cursed under his breath as he glanced about, holding one hand to shield his eyes from the sun. It was all well and good proclaiming he had to find Kaine, but he hadn't banked on one crucial factor, namely he didn't know where to look. I would go for that park, and I would go for the riverbank. Those are the two places I would look first. Noah had been wandering around the town for several hours already, stopping by the locations he and Kaine had visited the day previously, to little avail. He'd even asked a few of his old classmates, the one Kaine had given the numbers of, whether they had seen him, but his queries hadn't yielded any results. It seemed that nobody knew where Kaine was, least of all Noah. Noah was positive that Kaine couldn't have gone far. His car was still parked in the driveway, but their town, though not especially large, wasn't small either. There was plenty of places Kaine could have been. Noah visited all the cafes they'd frequented during their teenage years, but even that ended up in failure. It was as though Kaine had disappeared. Maybe he took a train out of here, or a bus. But why would he leave his car behind? That doesn't make any sense. If he wanted to escape, that'd be the quickest way to go about it. Unless he was worried about stranding me here? Now that Noah thought about it, that wasn't a wholly preposterous idea. You can't drive, though. Kaine's always putting other people before himself. As far as serial killers must go, he must be the most considerate one I've ever met. Not that I've met other serial killers, of course, but I don't think that, at least. Yeah, this is where I would have looked. With his search of the residential and shopping areas drawing a blank, Noah moved his investigation towards the mountains. Noah had spent a lot of time with Kaine in the past, down on the secluded mountain trail. It had been here, amongst the trees, that Noah had first told Kaine about the kiss he had shared with August. Kaine had initially looked surprised, but he had later congratulated him. He sounded sincere about it, too. I was afraid he'd judge me, but he didn't treat me any differently. Kaine's always had my back. I thought I could trust him with anything. These sentimental thoughts accompanied Noah during his walk. He descended down the mountain trail and then took a detour. He didn't head back to the streets, as if he had been following his old commute to school. Instead, he turned left where the trees were even more numerous and let them swallow him. He trudged through the undergrowth, glancing this way and that. Noah's senses were finely honed, his head whipping around with every single sound he heard. Every time the trees rustled or a twig underfoot snapped, Noah wondered whether it might be Kaine. It never was, though. For all the searching, Noah still couldn't find him. The trees eventually thinned out, and the sound of running water filled the air. Noah made his way to the river, the same stream he had sat to sketch while a teenager. Yeah, this is the first place I would have checked, TBH. Noah had always liked this place. It was quiet and secluded, far away enough from the main road that it was impossible to hear any traffic. It was almost 20 minutes' walk from his home, and it provided the perfect place to escape from the confines of that house. Noah had come here with Kaine in the past, too, to sit and chat while the water flowed in the background. But Kaine wasn't here. Damn it. The riverside wasn't abandoned, however, not like Noah expected. There was a young man sitting there on a stump, with one lithe leg over the other. Even from a distance, he recognized him. It's this nerd again. I don't want to talk to you. The holographic jacket was quite the fashion statement, particularly when the sunlight caught it. It was positively blinding. Noah didn't know anybody else who would dress like that, not in the real world at least. Clothes like this might have been out of place for singers, Clothes like this might not have been out of place on singers in a music video, but they looked ridiculous when contrasted in the real world. I don't think that's crazy, but the man, of course, it's Ivan. I know it is. Don't lie to me. Hey, I like your jacket. Ivan? Noah frowned. What are you doing here? Noah took a step towards Ivan, the grass depressing underfoot, then frowned. I didn't expect to see you here. You can say that again. What voice did I give him? I gave him like an unbothered gay voice, right? I might be nearly as shit as you when it comes to communication, but even I know that's not a way to greet a friend. We're not friends. We are not friends. Hold on. Jesus. Everything is crazy. This blanket is bothering me. Yeah. Oh, it fell on the ground. Hold on. That was my bee. I was like, dang, my whole blanket fell on the floor. Yeah, great, read that. Since when are we friends? Do you let strangers stay in your apartment? Yeah, and that's in this case anyway. Noah took a seat beside Ivan as he spoke, bringing his legs up against his chest. There was something contradictory, he knew, in refuting Ivan's claim that they were friends, then sitting beside him regardless. I might as well. It's not like I've discovered anything of note during the last few hours. I was due a break anyway, and Ivan might have an idea or two. You haven't answered my questions either. What are you doing here? Ivan shrugged noncommittally. I work near here sometimes. You work? You got a problem with that? I just can't imagine you having a job, especially one this far away from the city. It's the kind of work I can do from anywhere. I just happen to be back for a bit. Huh. What are the chances you happen to be in my tiny little hometown? What a coincidence. You're from here? Yeah, I was born here. I stayed until I was 17 or so. Then what are you doing here? I came back with Kaine to investigate those murders and sort some stuff out with my brother, I guess. You're looking awfully alone for someone on a trip with their friend. Kaine and I had a bit of a fight. Has his obsessive protectiveness of you gotten a little bit old? What? He's not like that. Of course he is. That man does not give a crap about himself. I can relate to that at least. That doesn't make any sense. He's always cared about himself. His looks, his grades, the way people perceive him. From my point of view, he's always cared about his ability to look after you. Gotta be successful and well-liked and in a position to care for someone, right? Not that I care. So you've solved your little murder problem yet? That silence is rather telling. I caught him in the act. The killer. Noah nodded, eyes to the ground. A small part of Noah still wanted to cover for Kaine, even after knowing all he had done. He didn't want to betray him, not to Ivan, whom Kaine had never liked. But it seemed rather silly to worry about betraying him now. I'm not the one who killed his family. I don't owe Kaine anything. It's him. That's a little vague. It's Kaine. Ivan didn't respond to the news immediately. He seemed instead to digest the matter for a few moments, his face impassive as always. That goody two-shoes? I saw him with a gun to my brother's head. I never would have pegged him as a killer. I guess you can't judge a book by its cover. You can say that again. When we first met, I thought you could have been the culprit. I think he's the kid that survived. Because remember, there was some kid that lived. He got shot, but he still lived through it. I bet it's him. Thinking about it, it makes sense. He has a hero complex when it comes to you. And now he's trying to make anything that hurt you vanish. I wonder if he wanted to kill me too. I would have enjoyed that. That's not a normal reaction. Have I ever claimed to being normal? Point taken. Noah fell silent. He observed the gentle, flowing river, whose surface rippled uneasily, the water undulating as though it were alive. Many years ago, when he had been back in high school, Asher had thrown all of his sketchbooks into that river. Noah could recall taking off his shoes and socks by these banks, then waiting to retrieve all of them. Dude, I remember that. You don't have to keep telling me about it. He had known, of course, that the sun beat down on him. It was a wasted effort. Bruh. Yep, they're ruined. Okay, I'm gonna be real. If I have to read this one more dang time, I'm gonna lose my shit. This is like how in Naruto, they keep playing the same stuff over and over. I'm not reading it again. I don't care. This is the 15th time we've talked about this. There's other stuff that happened. Are you kidding? Yeah. They'd been waterlogged and the delicate colors had been sodden. He found them and helped him, and it still hadn't been enough. Noah had appreciated it all the same, though. He hadn't been used to people standing up for him, people other than Kaine, that was. Kaine was there for me before August. We've known each other since we were kids. Is that why he did what he did? Maybe he felt like it was his duty to protect me during all those times he wasn't there. Noah shook his head. Dwelling on the past would do him no good. He'd been thinking of the past for 6 years, and as a result, he stagnated. If I hadn't wallowed in my own misery for as long as I did, maybe Kaine wouldn't have felt compelled to try and tidy up my past. I mean, it's not his business, but yeah, I do think that's why he did it. It's too late to regret all this now, of course, but I wonder what would have happened if I tried a little harder. So what do you think? Noah looked back at Ivan, suddenly desperate for somebody to talk to, desperate for someone to pull him out of his head. What do I think about what? The fact that your best friend is leaning towards your best friend leaning towards boyfriend is a serial killer? It's not like that. We're just friends. Ivan shrugged. I don't really care. If he wants to kill people, then whatever. It doesn't really affect me. I'm not really sure why I bothered asking. Do you expect me to be your moral compass or something? People die every single day. Who cares if he caused a few of those deaths? Me? Their families? Do you really care? It seems like you're looking for a reason to forgive him. It's not that easy. He lied so many times. He killed people. How can I forgive someone like that? I've been looking for him all day just so I can have some answers, but he's just gone. Need some help? What? You want to help me? I've always been helpful. I wouldn't say that. Even if you wanted to help, I wouldn't know how you could. I don't know where he's gone. It's like he's disappeared into thin air. Into thin air, huh? Sometimes I understand why Kaine babies you. Do you have a brain in that head of yours? What? Why are you insulting me right now? He probably disappeared into a dream. What? Ah! No! Don't let it save, please. What? Noah gasped. He hadn't even considered that before, but now that Ivan mentioned it, it did make sense. Now that he knew Kaine could also enter dreams, there was nothing stopping him from making his escape into one of them. It would explain why he'd left his car behind. He wouldn't have needed it inside a dream. And there was one issue Noah had with his idea, however. I don't know if Kaine would do that, though. He'd always told me he couldn't escape into my own fantasies, even before all this crazy stuff started. He said it was important that I face reality. Ivan snorted. His take is as boring as he is. Kaine's been able to live in reality because up until now, his reality consisted of him having a well-paying job, living in a fancy apartment, being well-liked and well-respected by all of his peers. Now, though, he's a serial killer. That's what you see him as. Wouldn't you want to escape reality too after all that? I can't blame him for that. Reality frickin' sucks. Noah pondered this for a few moments, turning Ivan's words over in his head. Would he want to escape from reality if Kaine was in his position? Probably. Dude, you wanted to escape reality this whole game. Quit playing. Yeah, exactly. Nerd. When I thought Mr. Floyd betrayed me, when my mom stopped me from seeing August, when Asher threw my sketchbooks into a river, I wanted to escape reality when all of that happened. You're right. If I was in Kaine's position, I don't think I'd want to live in the real world either. Probably the most reasonable thing he's ever done. Come with me to find him, please. My assistance probably comes with a cost, which would be... My employer doesn't like me slacking off on the job. If she knows what I'm doing, she might be interested in meeting you. How would she find out about this? Ivan shrugged again. I guess it's a risk I'm willing to take. I like your lack of self-preservation. And then, before he could even brace himself, the world fell out from under both of them. Dude, I wonder if that girl, I don't remember her name, Asher's ex is his boss. And that they're like a secret dream agency or something. Noah's stomach lurched as a feeling of weightlessness overcame him. No matter how many times he entered the world of dreams, he couldn't wrap his head around it. But that's to be expected. How is anybody supposed to get used to something that ought to be impossible? The feeling of sickness eventually subsided, and Noah cracked his eyes open. Cautiously, he glanced about. He wasn't even sure whose dream he'd end up in, or who it would be. I have to say, Asher, I'm disappointed in you. I thought you were better than this. But this uncertainty was soon shattered. Noah's surroundings came into sudden focus, sharp focus like a dial that had just adjusted the side of a microscope. Noah was standing in the office, facing a middle-aged woman with chestnut hair and an attractive face. The last time Noah had seen this woman, she had been a silhouette, a shadowy figure in Asher's dream. He still recognized her, however, though he could see more of her features. This was Professor Pearson, one of Asher's lecturers from university. Is this Asher's dream, then? I don't know if we'll find Kaine here. You're a smart boy, Asher. You just need to apply yourself more. If I was grading based off of merit alone, I would have passed you without any issues, but as it stands... I don't know if we'll find Kaine here. Unless he's come back for Asher, that is. Next place, then. Hey, Stinkable. The world once again shifts around them. Professor Pearson's office melts away and replaced with an interior which was slightly more familiar. Noah was in his living room, his mother facing him. She frowned when she saw Noah. Where have you been, School finished 3 hours ago. Don't tell me you were hanging around with that Rivers boy again. I already told you he's a bad influence. Noah's mother cast her gaze sideways, meeting Ivan's. And who in the world is this? These clothes are ludicrous. He didn't come from a circus, did he? Maybe I did. Who's the hag? The what? I wasn't talking to you. Get her, Ivan! Get her! Noah nearly burst out laughing, but instead he reeled it in. My mother. Right, I can see why you didn't give a crap when she died. Noah, I demand you to stop associating with this filth immediately. I might be filth, but I'm not a pearl-clutching middle-aged woman with a stick up her butt. Noah! What are you doing with this man? We're, going on a bit of a trip together? Well, I live and breathe. That is not going to happen. Now go up to your room and prepare for dinner. Sorry to burst your bubble, but you're not living and breathing. Bye. Noah, you listen here. Noah did not listen here, however. He hadn't the chance. In a blink. You know what? W. Ivan for that. I'm gonna be real. W. Ivan. He really did that. King, I fear. It began to alter once again. Colors merged and ran like paint dripping down a canvas. Man, whose dream was that, though? Disjointed scenes began to flicker crazily in front of Noah's eyes. It was like a hellish kaleidoscope, so intense it made him feel sick. There was a circus tent in flames, acrid smoke filling the air, a castle fit for a fairy tale princess, its ramparts covered in thorns, a hall of mirrors extending into infinity. And then, with a sudden jolt, the world rightened itself. The flickering images dispersed as though they had never been there in the first place. Oh god, we're here again. I don't like being here. Here makes me feel bad about myself. I'm telling you right now, though, even if he did kill August, I'm gonna still date him. What are you gonna do? Stop me? You can't. I worked too hard for this, buddy. Noah's soles met solid ground, and his stomach lurched upward inside him. He gagged, one hand pressed to his throat. Nausea swirled inside him, threatening to erupt from... Oh, hi! I just kicked my cat. I feel bad now. Not hard. It was, like, soft. Just a little tap. Threatening to erupt from past his parted lips. But after taking several lungfuls of clean air, he was able to steady himself. Oh, my bad. Don't go dying on me. Well, yeah, that's the plan. Thank goodness for that. Somebody sounds relieved. Noah raised an eyebrow. I didn't think you cared that much. I'm not a huge fan of dead bodies. It's more of a Kaine thing, huh? Noah inhaled a breath of air carefully and then glanced about. His eyes were burning after the onslaught of images he'd been exposed to, but he thought he recognized his surroundings. It was dark, and he was surrounded by trees. He was in the mountains, on the trail he and Kaine and August had always taken to school, and it was raining heavily. Dude, if this was a murder, don't do it to me. I'm gonna cry. Stop. Noah had always thought that the mountains were pretty, but that was during the day, when the sun was high in the sky. At night, however, it was much more eerie. No one knew he was inside a dream, but his surroundings had been replicated so perfectly. Every rustle in the undergrowth made him start. Noah glanced about, his eyes straining in the dark of the storm. The moon was bright, but mostly concealed by heavy rain clouds. I can barely see a foot in front of my face. This reminds me of that night. No! Not that night! No! Don't think about it, Noah. I'm here for Kaine. Noah continued to crane his neck, looking this way and that when... Noah froze in place. Sunshine? What are you talking about? Noah followed his line of sight, squinting through the darkness and rain. He gasped. There was a figure out there after all, standing several spaces away. He hadn't noticed at first, given it was so very dark, and now his eyes began to adjust, however he could make a person out. Oh no. They had blonde hair, and for a moment, Noah thought it was Crow. They could have been Crow's mirror image, in fact. But the boy standing beneath the stars, his head bent As he checked his phone, it wasn't Crow. It was August. What was he doing out here? What's going on? Whose dream is this? Is it mine? Kaine's? August's? It feels like he never left me. It's like he never died. What is he doing, though? Out in the mountains so late at night. It isn't safe here. Don't tell me. Oh, it's getting chilly. August mumbled under his breath as he shifted from foot to foot. Oh god, no. Dude, oh my god, no. His fingers still curled around his phone. Where are you, Noah? You were meant to be here 15 minutes ago. Wait, what? He's waiting for me? Then does that mean... Why? How? Ivan, do you know August? August? That's August. He was my... We knew each other from school. For once, Ivan looked genuinely confused, scared, and perhaps dumbfounded, staring at August as if he was seeing a ghost. I have to go talk to him. Hey, Ivan, wait, what are you doing? Ivan grabbed the hold of his sleeve and turned him back with a scowl. Just wait. We can go talk to him in a minute. But don't you think this could be important? If this is Kaine's dream? But I have so many things to say to him. Me too. Ivan knows August, but how? I never saw them together. Ivan didn't go to my school, did he? I don't know who Ivan is. That's the other thing that eludes me. I don't know. I don't know who he is. Could they have known each other before August moved here? Oh, maybe. Maybe they lived in a different town together. Noah's thoughts were interrupted by the sound of rain getting heavier. Ah, jeez. This rain really isn't letting up. It didn't say anything about this on the weather forecast. Maybe I should have brought an umbrella. A large gust of wind passed through, oh god, the rustling leaves overhead, causing them to skitter across the ground. Droplets of moisture fell from the cloudy sky. They struck the top of August's head and slid down the nape of his neck. He shuddered, then glanced about. His eyes narrowed behind the lenses of his glasses. I gotta get to shelter. I'm sure Noah will be here soon. He's waiting for you? Out in this weather? There wasn't anything I could do about it. I can't watch this. I can't go through this again. August hurried off, presumably to find a canopy of trees he could... No, go back twice. Duck beneath. All the while, as he walked, the rain continued to fall about him. The droplets struck the ground over and over, like continued artillery fire, more rapidly than they had before. Ivan and Noah followed the boy from a distance, careful not to be spotted. Noah wanted to run out and talk to August. He wanted to stop him from being out here, alone and cold. Oh, no. Somewhere deep down, he knew that wouldn't change anything. August? August whipped his head around the directions of Kaine's voice, as too did Noah. Kaine, what are you doing out here? I could ask you the same thing. It's raining. You know, it's dangerous. You should go home. I don't know if I really have a home to go back to, but that's not important. It sounds plenty important to me. Do you want to stay over at my house? I wouldn't want to impose on your dad. August shook his head. My dad likes you. He wouldn't mind at all. Kaine was really there that night, and he spoke to August before he... Noah swallowed. He knew what was going to happen, just as surely as he knew the leaves were going to fall off the trees in the autumn. No, witch. I can't justify it. I can't justify it. This wasn't a dream, but a memory. Oy vey. He was watching the events of 6 years ago unfold, the events which had led to August's untimely demise. He had been waiting out there in the dark on the mountain for Noah. He'd waited, and then... Did Noah tell you I was going to be here? August approached Kaine, taking care as he did not to slip. Oh my god. The mountain paths were ill-maintained. They were hard enough to navigate during the day, let alone during the night. It looked like August was being careful, but was that really enough? No, I was just taking a walk to clear my head. Were you waiting for him? He's supposed to meet up with me a while ago, but he hasn't even texted me. I wonder if his parents are causing him trouble. That's what they do. Mostly his mom, but definitely both of them. You should head back. I'm sure Noah will text you when he can. I should at least text him. Ugh, my phone went flat. Well, why don't we walk back together? I left my phone at home, but I can text him for you and let him know you went home. Thanks, Kaine. You really are a great friend. It doesn't always feel like it. Trust me, you are. Thanks for coming to my rescue, Prince Charming. August smiled and laughed softly as he always did. He had a way of cheering anyone up when they were down. Please. Kaine scoffed. You'd be better off saving those lines for Noah. Oh, you. Know about that, huh? August's voice was, oh no, I know where this is going, and I'm not happy about it. Stop! I don't think it was on purpose. But I can smell it coming, and I'm mad about it. What, Moida? Dude, I'm gonna cry. August's voice was slightly tinged with shyness, but he didn't look away from Kaine. No, it was pretty obvious with his interests. That's true. I guess he isn't subtle. Maybe that's why I like him so much. He's very honest. The two continued walking further up the mountain. Ivan and Noah followed. Watch your step now. The weather's really terrible. No one should have picked a better night to invite you out. I've not seen a downpour this bad in months. I don't mind the rain. I think it's relaxing. It's less so when you're out in it and the wind keeps blowing into your face. Well, that's true. It would have been nice if I had my camera, though. I think the scenery's very, scenic. You have a real way with words. I try my best. English has never been my greatest subject. A gust of wind blew harder than before. Silence lapsed between the pair as they continued onwards. Kaine was taking the ascent slowly, feeling out the best path. Even when Noah didn't realize that What even Noah didn't realize is that August had seen his face at that moment. He would have realized that the water running down Kaine's cheeks was more than just rain. Careful on the right, there's some roots sticking out on the path. Try the left instead. All right, Captain. We make a pretty good team. Maybe we could take up mountain engineering. Well, I do like stretching my legs, though I'd rather not do it in pouring rain. Maybe we could bring Noah along too. That could be fun. He isn't the most athletic, but he might agree to it if you're the one who asks. Overhead, thunder rumbled. I'm like waiting for it. There was an ominous crack, and a fork of lightning shattered into the sky. Ugh, crap, that doesn't sound good. Maybe we should try to pick up the pace. I don't know about you, but I don't fancy being struck by a stray bolt of lightning. It doesn't sound like the best way to go. Agreed. I don't think we're far from the top, at least. Just be careful, alright? It's pretty steep. One wrong move, and then... Oh, God, he fell. Kaine's eyes widened with alarm. He turned and searched for August in the dark. August shouldn't have been that far behind him. They were walking in tandem for most of their ascent up the mountain, but... Crap. It was raining so hard the visibility had been severely compromised. The forks of light, meanwhile, which were split in the sky, did little to illuminate the surroundings. August! He was falling. Kaine watched, powerless to help him. August pitched backwards. A dark shape which was barely indistinguishable from the rocks and the trees about him. No. His body hit the ground, and then he rolled, and he fell backwards, over and over, striking the ground at awkward angles. Oh, no, I can't watch this. I'm going to be sick. Noah stood there frozen in place, rooted to the spot. August's cries were heart-rending. Oh, God. That's awful. I mean, I'm glad he didn't push him off the ledge or something, but he was there for it, and I'm sure that was traumatizing. I'm so sorry that this is happening to you. He had the worst day of his fucking life, dude. He had known that something like this must have happened, but he never once tried to imagine it. It hurt too much, and now he knew the truth. However, he felt like he might be sick. Why didn't I do anything? I should have been there. I should have stopped this. It should have been me, not him. Dude, he should have just gone home the second that it started raining. That's really the tea. The second it started raining, dude, if it started raining, I would have went home. I want to be real. Because they even have been telling him the whole time that the path has been dangerous. It was an accident. It's no one's fault. August. No. Noah might have been motionless, but it wasn't so far for Kaine and Ivan. They both sprung into action, barreling down towards August, shaking off whatever was holding their legs there. Completely still, Noah rushed to catch up. Kaine had been the one who advised caution, and now he threw it all to the wind. His own safety had become a secondary concern. He's really trying to rescue August. August, it's all right. Kaine was at the foot of the mountain, cradling August to himself. He held the younger man in his arms, eyes wide with concern. I need to get an ambulance. My phone. Shit, I don't have it. August didn't respond. Sunshine. Oh, I'm gonna kill myself. This is so sad. Kaine's young face snapped up, tears rushing down his cheeks to look at Ivan. Who are you? Get off your butt and start moving. We need to get him back to the main street now. Right. Noah hesitated, seeing the way Ivan jumped to action. The tone of his voice was desperate, and Noah had never seen him so human, scared even. August, hang in there. It's okay. We have help. Come on, you'll be okay. Hang in there. The scenery began to shift around Noah, the trees and mountains melting into one another. The stars began to drip from the sky, just like watercolor. Yo, I'm sad. The world reformed itself, eaten up by a burst of white light. It took Noah a few moments to realize where he was, but when he did, he gasped. He was in the hospital room. August lay beneath sheets, his hair spilling across the pillow. His glasses had been removed, and his sneakers, meanwhile, were laying beneath the bed. His soles were spattered with dirt. August had always been a bright and sunny boy, whose cheery smiles had captured Noah's heart in an instant. Now I feel bad for hating him high-key. I kind of hated him for no reason. Sorry, King. I mean, I'll do it again. I thought he was just sus as hell, but he was just a really nice kid who died. R.I.P. Right now, however, he seemed like a shadow of his former self. Noah had never known August to look so small, nor so sad, nor so defeated. August, please. Kaine sat by August's bed, his face contorted with concern. Just try to hang in there, all right? The doctor said everything should be okay. And I'm sure Noah's on his way. I texted him. You just gotta keep it together for a little longer, that's all. He won't be long, and everything will be fine. Noah was trying to sound confident, but Noah heard his voice crack. It was obvious just by looking at him he didn't truly believe the words which were coming from his mouth, and why would he? Noah could tell from the distance that August wasn't in a good state. His face was so pale, and it was hard to distinguish him from the pillow upon which he lay his head. Weakly he turned to look at Kaine. Kaine. Yeah, what is it? Are you alright? Should I call a nurse? If you need a glass of water, I can get you one. No, that's alright. August smiled, a little bemused perhaps by the intensity of Kaine's offer to help. I don't think I need a nurse, not when I have you. You're even more attentive than they are. You really have done a lot for me. Thank you for bringing me here, and thank you for staying with me. It's appreciated. Well, of course I'm going to stay with you. That's not even a question. We're friends, best friends. I'd never abandon you. I know. You never do anything like that. You really are a great guy. Noah looked around. He couldn't see Ivan anymore. Although I thought you hated me in the beginning. What? I appeared out of the blue and took Noah's attention, didn't I? I'm sorry. But you never complained. You've always been really supportive. Both of Noah and me. I'm very lucky that I met you. You have no idea just how much it meant to me, being your friend. Huh? What do you mean meant? Your fall wasn't that serious. You're not gonna die from a few cracked ribs. I won't let you. I wasn't aware I needed your permission. August laughed weakly. Oh, hell yeah, I did that so good. Sorry. Sorry. Let me shut up. His chuckle soon transmuted into a wince and then a series of sharp inhalations, ones which made Kaine grimace. Maybe you should stop talking. You're only making yourself worse. Just take deep breaths, all right? And try not to worry. Noah will be here soon. He has to be. You tell me not to worry, and yet... August's expression softens. I think you're worrying more than I am. Well, yeah, we're friends. Noah adores you. If anything happened to you, he'd be devastated. That's why you can't die, you hear? Not from a fall like that. I'm doing my best. It feels hard to breathe, Kaine. Like something's creeping up over my skin and pulling. Crap. Kaine cursed, his face taut with panic. Maybe I really should go find a nurse. They'll know what to do. Everything will be all right, so... Kaine. August held Kaine's hand even tighter. He held Kaine in place with more strength than one might expect from a bedbound individual. Then, in a voice which was surprisingly authoritative, he spoke up. Don't go. Please. I don't want to be on my own. It'll only be for a little while, though. I'll find somebody, and everything will be all right. You have to be all right. If you're not, Noah will... He'll be fine. How can you say that? You know how much he cares about you. Hell, he loves you. He loves you with all his heart. I know he does. Once again, August winced. He didn't, however, drop his hand from Kaine's. I know that Noah will be upset, but he'll be able to endure. He'll have you after all. He won't be alone. So please don't cry. Not over me. Everything will work out, and like you said, one way or another. Even if I'm not around, because you'll be there. What? But August, no, you can't. I can't. And why is that? You've known him a lot longer than I have. I can't think of anybody who would take better care of him than you. I know he means a lot to you, more than you'll admit. Kaine inhaled. He stared at August, his expression torturous. Whatever I feel, it doesn't matter at all. I just want you to be okay. And Noah to have you and be happy. And you can be honest with me, Kaine. I want you to be. I know that he likes you. And I know I don't have any chance with him. But that doesn't change the fact that I'm in love with him too. A silence passed following Kaine's confession. Noah stared at him, still standing at the entrance of the hospital ward, unseen by both Kaine and August. Good, because that would change the meme. He loves me? How long has he felt this way about me? Well, at least since high school, buddy. I know. August, however, seemed less stunned by that news than Noah. He smiled wryly, his hand still within Kaine's. I can tell. Huh? Then all this time you knew? I picked up on it eventually. If I realized sooner, maybe I wouldn't have gotten so close to Noah. But by the time I did realize, it was too late. I had already fallen for him. Softly, August laughed, a weak sound which accumulated in a breathy exhalation of pain. August, please. Kaine gave August's hand a squeeze. Don't talk. You need to conserve your energy. I'm sure Noah will get here soon. Then you can tell him that you slipped and then you were stupid and everything will be all right. You have to be all right. I mean, he loves you. I know. The perturbed look A perturbed look flashed across August's face. Got him. One which furrowed his brow, but it soon faded. He smiled once again, albeit tremulously and quietly. He said, Part of me wishes he didn't know. Why? Because this is gonna kill him too. Stay with him, Kaine. Don't give up on him if he gives up on you, okay? Of course, I'll always be there for him, but please don't make us go through that. Just stay strong. August looked at Kaine, his face deathly white. Like whey? What is whey? His blonde hair was obviously disheveled, sorry. His breathing was irregular. It sounded strained. His every exhalation caught in his throat like a burr. August was only 18, but he was wheezing like someone far older. Noah could see the life beginning to fade from August's green eyes. His irises looked horribly dull, his face strangely naked without the lenses of his circular glasses. Before August's eyelids could shut, he was able to choke out one last plea. Take care of Noah for me. Look after him. And don't let anybody hurt him more than I'm going to. If you can promise me that, then I can go. Without any regrets. Well, of course I'll look after Noah. That goes without saying. I'll always be there for him, but what's the good if you're not there? You're the one he loves. You're the one he cares about. If you die, I don't know what he'll do. I don't know what I'll do. I don't know. August, please. Kaine entreated August, his voice rising in pitch with every exclamation. He sounded half crazed as he looked too. His eyes were wide and frantic, his pupils tiny pinpricks in vast white seas. But August did nothing to reply to him. Perhaps he couldn't. The ability of speech seemed seemed one he could no longer muster. Oh, wait, go back. I want to see the moment he died. Wait, when did he shut his eyes? Oh, there we go. Oh, I see. Okay, he did that a while ago then. Dang. I didn't notice because I wasn't looking. But August didn't reply to him. Perhaps he couldn't. Yeah. Did he not have the energy? He was still breathing, albeit barely, but... August? Even these weak, shallow breaths began to taper out. The silence between August's labored inhalations became longer and longer until... Oh, jeez. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to Noah. I thought you loved him. How could you die from a little fall like that, dude? From what I heard, it was crack, crack, snapple, pop down the mountain, bro. That is not something you recover from. How could you? Even August's inhalations ceased. His body, which lay back on the snowy white hospital bed, was indistinguishable from the corpse. From corpses on a mortuary slab. This is so sad. His skin was ghostly white, his eyelids tightly shut. His eyes were pursed, but no breath came from between them. He wasn't breathing. He must have... August, you jerk. Sorry, I'm not gonna say that. The tears came faster now. You freaking jerk. How could you? How could you? I'll never forgive you. How could you be so selfish? Ugh. Kaine's accusations, however, fell on deaf ears. August didn't chide him for being unfair, which he was, and neither did he tease him for being foolish, which again he was. August didn't say anything at all. No one knew, as he stood at the threshold of the white, featureless hospital room, that August would never say anything again. He was dead. That's so sad, RP. Noah hadn't been to visit August in the hospital room. Noah had arrived at the hospital too late. By the time he had gotten there, August had already passed away. August's father, Jasper, had asked Noah whether he wanted to see his son, to say his final goodbyes, but Noah hadn't been able to muster the courage. He'd been too afraid. He had never seen August lying there, his eyes closed, his blonde hair fanning behind him on the pillow like a halo. He hadn't wanted to see it. Perhaps a part of him hoped, by avoiding August's death, he could pretend it never happened. But that was foolish now that Noah thought about it. Ignorance could never bring the dead back to life. He left Kaine in that hospital. He never knew what Kaine had gone through. He had left Kaine too at the funeral, which had been held a couple of weeks later. Noah ran away from home without a single word to his best friend. For years he had been running. But now Noah was tired of it. He was so tired. Isn't it paradoxical to be so tired inside of a dream? I thought they were supposed to be peaceful. I don't think I've had a single moment's peace since August died. Trying to avoid the truth didn't make me feel any better. It only made me feel worse. I guess in the end, I couldn't escape from reality. Not even inside a dream. August. God, August. Kaine sniffled as he sat at August's bedside, his hands still tightly clasping August. You can't do this to me, man. You can't do this to him. When Noah finds out about this, he loves you so much. He was sobbing so bitterly, his whole body shook. He couldn't remember ever seeing Kaine cry like this before. Kaine always acted so calm and confident, so incredibly together that it was a rare sight. All this time, Kaine had been grieving August. He just hid it from me. Why did I ever think otherwise? God. Kaine cursed under his breath, yet more tears trickled down his flushed face. This wasn't supposed to happen. Why did everything have to work out like this? Kaine. It was on trembling legs like a newborn deer that Noah approached Kaine. His body felt strangely weightless. His footsteps made no sound as he crossed spotlessly to the white floor. Noah felt unfinished, like a hasty sketch portrait. One where only the suggestion of eyes and a nose had been penciled in. He felt vague and hazy, and maybe he was. This was a dream after all. Kaine's tears, however, Noah was sure they were real. The thought had crossed his mind that Kaine had been the one to hurt August, but that was the stupidest idea he had ever had. Honestly, I was hoping for it not to be that every single moment of my life, because now I can go, what, Moida? And I will go, what, Moida? Thank you. I thought Kaine might have been jealous of August for spending so much time with me. He was. But even in that case, Kaine cared about August too. He cared about him more than I realized. That's why he's crying so much. How could he hurt him? How could I ever have accused him of something like that? Kaine might know me pretty well, but I'm starting to wonder whether I knew him at all. You didn't. Noah came to a halt by Kaine's side, his hand hovering above Kaine's shoulder for a few moments, hesitant and indecisive, almost afraid. Before, with an exhalation of air, he sets his palm down. Kaine, it's all right. Softly Noah spoke, his voice so quiet, Kaine's choked sob overshadowed it. I know that it was an accident. You did everything you could to help him. It wasn't your fault that August... Noah's voice caught in his throat. That August... He winced, pained, as though something had caught itself in his throat. Saying it aloud was difficult. Hell, for years simply thinking about it had been difficult. But he could no longer escape from reality, not when it was staring at him in the face. It was his time to admit something he'd known for a long, long time. That August is dead. The moment that Noah said this, his shoulders sagged. It felt as though a great weight, which once crushed him for almost a decade, had finally been removed. That's right. August is dead. He's dead and he's not coming back. Crow might look a lot like August, but he can't be August. I might be in a dream right now, but this is reality. I can't run away from it. I can't question it. I can't fight it. August is dead. Noah. Kaine murmured Noah's name as if it was some sort of prayer. Kaine hadn't noticed Noah's presence in the hospital room earlier. Perhaps he hadn't been able to see him, but the sensation of Noah's hand against his shoulder made him turn. This Kaine was younger than the one Noah was familiar with. Younger than the one Younger than the one who had threatened to murder Asher. This Kaine wasn't a well-off adult with an array of expensive suits and his own fancy apartment. This Kaine instead was a teenager who was lost and anxious and unsure of himself, with damp eyes full of tears. Noah was unsure whether Kaine realized that they were in a dream, or whether Noah was much older than he thought he ought to be. Perhaps it didn't matter, though. The lines between dreams and reality were beginning to blur. No, I'm so sorry. I wanted to help him, but I know you did. I know. The heck? Sorry. Noah reassured Kaine the best he could, but though it was the younger Kaine he was talking to, it was the older Kaine he was thinking of. He was trying to look out for me. He was only doing what he thought was best. Can I really hate him for that? It was terrible what happened, but you weren't to blame. You did your very best. But my best wasn't good enough. Kaine hiccuped, more tears rolling down his flushed cheeks. I was meant to be the responsible one. I was supposed to look out for you, for both of you. August said I acted like a parent. He called me the mom friend. He trusted me to take care of him, but I couldn't do that. I couldn't save August. I couldn't take care of you. If only I'd tried a little harder, this could have been averted. If only I'd done something. Done what? Noah knelt down when he stared into Kaine's watery eyes. And Kaine's trembling oh God. Oh God! Just kill me! Whatever. He took Kaine's trembling hands in his own. What more could he have possibly done? I don't... Kaine shuddered. More tears rolled down his cheeks as he wept. I don't know. I don't know what I could have done, but I should have done something. I shouldn't have let him die. He was right in front of me, but... Shh. It's in the past now. It can't be changed, but... I don't resent you for it, Kaine. Not at all. Well, you should. I deserve to be resented for what I did. You should hate me. Noah thought of the Kaine holding the gun to Asher's temple, thought of Asher's face, stark white against the midnight sky, and frowned. Maybe I should hate you. Noah inhaled. But I don't. Yeah, what, Moira? You don't? Of course not. How could I? Save file. Next. Oh, my work. All of my hard work has led me to this moment. You're more than my best friend. You're my best friend, Kaine. No, you're more than that. You've always been my great... You better not say anything more. You better say something romantic or I'm gonna go. Not to this kid, but I hope that Kaine, upper Kaine, is somewhere and he smells this and he's like, I smell the romance you have for me. That's what I hope. You've always been my greatest supporter, a pillar that I could lean on, even when I pushed you away. You're everything to me. Noah. Kaine. Noah rose from his feet, or at least he tried to. He wasn't able to put much space between him and the sobbing Kaine, however, because Kaine shifted forwards. Or maybe he fell? It was hard to tell how deliberate Kaine's actions were when he was sobbing so much, but in one moment he was sitting at August's bedside, and the next his arms were around Noah's middle. Brokenly, he sobbed like a small child. Noah couldn't see Kaine's face. It was buried in his shirt, but he could hear how desperate Kaine's sobs were, how very desolate. He could feel the moisture staining the front of his shirt. Kaine was going to leave a damp patch when he finally pulled away. Noah was certain. But Noah didn't care. He'd been pushing Kaine away and his kindness for years now, but he's been suffering just as much as I have. How did I never realize that? I really am selfish. Shh, it's all right. Don't worry. What, Moida? Noah wound his arms around Kaine, pulling the younger man against him. He rested one hand at the small of his back, and while the other ran through Kaine's hair. His heart felt hollow, and like a hollow, empty, worn-out thing. He was awfully, impossibly weary. But still, he held on to Kaine. Who else did he have to cling to? Who else would have understood how he felt? I'm here for you. You can cry as much as you'd like. I won't push you away. Really? Absolutely. After everything you've done for me, I think I at least owe you this much. I wasn't there for you in the past, but I can try to make amends. I can't go back in time, of course, and console you, but I can do this. I can try and forgive you. I'm not a saint, but if it's for your sake, I think I can do it. Noah heard a shifting from behind him. He turned slightly and saw Ivan at the back of the room. He was uncertain how long the man had been there for. His eyes were wide as he backed up, hitting the wall behind him, eyes wide. Sunshine. He's dead? Ivan didn't speak so loudly, but the hospital ward was so quiet, it might as well have been a gunshot. I'm sorry. What have I been struggling all this time for? Ivan? He's dead. The only person that mattered. Ivan just turned, opened the door, and left. Noah wanted to chase after him and to question him, but Clang? That's his name now. That's Clang. R.I.P. to the sad moment. Kaine still clung to him, to his shirt, crying. R.I.P. Now wasn't the time to leave him behind. So Noah just held Kaine carefully and delicately and looked towards August's body. It wasn't really August. This was a dream, but it looked like him. Likely felt like him too, with his fading heat. It was as close to the real one as could get. Noah frowned. There was something off about the body. August was just lying in the hospital bed, the white sheets pulled up around him. The sheets obscured most of him from view, but Noah could see the curve of August's shoulders obscured by the blue shirt, and his neck, which protruded from it. His neck was long and slender, and his skin was pale, unblemished. It should have been pale at least, but what? Noah's body was not as it should have been. Noah could see an intricate black pattern sneaking up from August's shirt.
Look at that. He died in his sleep. It's like Crow's probably August.
The pattern was thin, like a jewelry wire, as it extended across the right side of his neck, forking in various places. The pattern looked like little fissures that cracked in a cracked piece of crockery or lighting, or a tree in winter stripped of its leaves. It looked familiar, unsettlingly so. It looked just like the marks that crept across Ivan's right side. The marks had been found on his parents' bodies, the mark that they had found on Luca's. No, how? Noah stared at the ominous markings. Slodjacked? I don't know what that means, and I'm not looking it up. They are a symptom of dreams. Both Kaine and Noah whipped their head around to the new voice. Crow stood in the doorway to the room, looking away. They don't just appear in those that die in dreams. They also appear to those that have been corrupted by this world. Humans are not designed to be here. Even a single trip can kill. But I... Crow smiled sadly. For those like you, Noah, you are resistant to the effect, but you're not immune. Over time, dreams can kill you too. And yet I selfishly wanted you to keep coming back. I'm sorry. Is that why Ivan's covered in those markings? That's correct. He's likely spent too much time here. Wait, what are you talking about? Dreams? That doesn't make any sense. August never... He did. Just once. I'm sorry, Noah. What the... Kaine looked between Noah and Crow, his face... a face of picture-perfect... Perfect picture of wide open... Sorry, I'm actually not understanding what they're talking about. Yeah, period. What are you talking about? What you're saying doesn't make any sense. Noah hardly registered Kaine's voice. He was too lost in his own thoughts. I did this. I took him to the drain just once to see his mother. The fall didn't kill him. I did. Noah? But, hey, Noah. Noah stared off into space. Oh, whatever. He fell from... He was gonna die either way. Sorry, buddy. He was gonna die either way. Like, whatever. Like, I literally don't care at this point. I mean, that's cray that he did that, but... whatever. The stark bright floors and the walls began to melt together. It seared his eyes. His head throbbed. And his torso bent. And something inside him broke. And he began to sob. Oh, God, Noah, what's wrong? I know you're upset about August, I am too, but you still have me. I'm here. I'll never leave you, I promise. This promise might have come from a game. I'm so sorry. Kaine, I'm so sorry. I keep messing up your name, my guy. I can't take anything seriously right now. I just called him like Clunk or something. Clank, I don't know. He was 6 years younger, but Noah didn't disbelieve it. He knew when Kaine promised to protect him, he meant it. He'd always meant it. Kaine had been devoutly steadfast. He was always there. Noah, meanwhile, was a mess up. He was a loser. He was a wreck. And now he was a killer, too. August had died, and it was his fault. He had murdered August just as surely as he would have if he plunged a knife between his ribs. It's more like... I don't know. It was still an accident, because he didn't know that was going to happen. And if he didn't know it was going to happen, then you didn't know he was going to die. It was an accident. I'm not saying it was purposeful. It had been an accident, of course. He hadn't known, but what did it matter? His good intentions wouldn't erase... So hear me out. You're willing... I know it's my idea. You're willing to overlook Kaine murdering, like, 4 people? And he, like, intentionally did that. You're not willing to look over you accidentally killing someone when you were, like, 17? Because of something you didn't know? That's cray, girl. You can't do that shit right now. It wouldn't do the damage he had caused. It wouldn't bring August back to life. Even in Kaine's dream, August had died. His passing was inevitable. Feeling guilty would accomplish nothing, and neither would crying, and yet... Crying noises. But that didn't stop Noah's tears from dripping down his cheeks, hotter and wetter than candle wax. I think we're being kind of dramatic right now, if I'm honest. Kaine stared at him in alarm, though Noah couldn't get a good look at his face. Not when he was sobbing so brokenly. Hesitantly, Kaine reached forward. Perhaps he meant to rest his arm on Noah's shoulder or pull him into a hug, but he never had the opportunity. The cracks began to open up the walls, which were too white, and the floor, which was too unbearably bright. These cracks spread, growing wider and wider until the whole room groaned. It sounded as if the hospital was in pain. If it was only fitting. Noah was in pain too. He was in so much pain he thought his heart would split. It's time for you to go, Noah. This dream is unstable. You must return to safety. Who cared if the dream imploded, taking him alongside it? He didn't want to be alive anymore, not in this reality, nor in the world of dreams. He couldn't bear to face what he had done. I judged Kaine so harshly, and look at me. I'm such a piece of crap. Noah, what's going on? The dream continued to collapse around him, the hospital room fragmenting into pieces, like fine grains of sand. Noah! And then there was nothing. The world fell apart, taking the lifeless August and the anxious, wild-eyed Kaine with it. They were gone. The world was gone, and Noah was falling. He plummeted, his body dragging down gravity's inexplorable pull. He continued to fall on and on when, Noah, I'm not going to let you be alone. Not like this. I've got you. Noah felt his arms wind around him, steadying him, and a voice in his ear. The voice was soft and gentle and familiar alongside it. It sounded a lot like August. But Noah knew, even as he sobbed, that this person was not August. He would never see August again. Instead, it was Crow. Crow, you... Noah sniffled. Angrily, he swiped away a few tears from his eyes. He didn't want anyone else to see him cry. Why? Why are you helping me? Because I can't bear to see you hurting like this. The truth is often painful, Noah. So painful that you feel as though you want to curl up in a ball and die. But even that feeling, that urge, will pass in the end. You have to let it pass. Don't succumb to it. Make it through. Even when you can't see the other side, know that there will be one. Because the world goes on. The sun rises and sun sets. And even if you didn't notice the morning, a new day will come. A day where you may struggle and hurt and suffer. But a day that you may enjoy or grow or laugh. Don't give up, Noah. How can I live knowing it's my fault? I would rather just keep falling forever. How do you think Kaine would feel about that? What? Kaine killed my parents. He tried to kill my brother. I don't know how to forgive him. I want to, I think, at least, but despite all that, you came searching for him. You still care about him. Isn't that right? Noah opened his mouth and then closed it. He wanted to refute the query, but he knew deep down that Crow was right. He did care about Kaine. He cared about him so much that the sight of his younger self, the anxious teenager sobbing over August's body, had left him feeling horribly shaken. I do care about him, but you worry that you cannot ask him to care for you, not after what you did? Noah fell silent, and then he nodded. He's too good at figuring out how I feel. It's almost like he knows me better than I know me. He really is like August. Keep hurting, Noah, and grow. And then be happy one day. How could I? I don't deserve it. I am unsure of how much I can speak for him, but I'm certain if August were here, he would want you to be happy. He would forgive you. Do you really think so? Dude, I'm like 2,000% certain that's August. Shut up. Even if this story, dude, if 2.5 Studios commented on this video and was like, it's not August, I'd call him a liar. I'd be like, liar! I'd be like, nuh-uh, liar. I don't believe you. What are you, the writer? Yeah, they are. I'm certain of it. That was simply the sort of person he was, don't you think? He had a very big heart, and he loved you a lot. To his detriment, maybe. If it wasn't for me, then August, you couldn't have known. You didn't mean to hurt him on purpose. You just wanted to make him happy. Isn't that right? Well, yeah. Noah sniffled, his eyes stinging, and violently wiped his eyes with the back of his arm. Of course I didn't want this to happen. I loved him. I know you did. I think a big part of you still does. Your love for August is a very... August? Damn. Sorry, August. Sorry, we're having a moment. Let me shut up. Your love for August is a very pure, selfless sort of thing. It's wonderful, Noah. If I could be loved in such a way, I would consider myself very fortunate indeed. Crow's voice trailed away, and he sighed. But that is unimportant. You have someone else you can turn to now. Someone who's been bearing the burden of this tragedy on his own for many years. He loves you a lot, though it took you a while to realize.
He can protect you. And that's what August wanted.
What? Noah brushed a few more tears from his eyes and then looked at Crow curiously. What are you talking about? Dude, we just saw it. What do you mean? Noah thought he had an idea of who Crow was hinting at. He wasn't being particularly subtle, but he had a hard time wrapping his mind around it. He must be speaking about Kaine. I've known him longer than anyone. He's always been there for me. At least until the other day, when he tried to kill Asher. Dude, he was still trying to be there for you. He just has a really bad way of doing it. And then he disappeared. I've been looking for him, but I don't know what I'll do when I find him. What should I say? Should I really forgive him? Can I forgive him? Confused thoughts swirled around inside Noah's head like fog, thoughts which battled for dominance. Noah was unsure what he was supposed to make of Kaine now, of their relationship. He told August that he loved me. Was that really real? Or was it part of a dream? Does he still love me even now? Is that why he stuck by me for so long? How should I feel about that, though? Noah didn't know. He had no idea, but his certainties did not stop the landscape from shifting about him. Good luck, Noah. Choose whatever will make you happiest. Ugh, I certainly will. He had been drifting alongside Crow inside a void. Now, however, the scenery about him was beginning to shift. Ripples spread across the fabric of reality. Not Noah. That supposedly counted as reality. Whatever. It was all a dream. But no, it wasn't even that. It was a dream within a dream. This static, sterile, unchanging world was altering, however. The darkness which surrounded Noah, thicker than any fog, parted. When Noah's feet hit the ground, he found himself standing once again in his old classroom. Dang, I'm back here again? Can we get some new scenery, my guy? I'm joking. Where? Hello? Oh. Dude, my mic's been going crazy. There was something cozy about the once familiar scenery, something which made Noah feel at ease. I never liked waking up early to come here, and I complained about all the homework I had to do. But this place wasn't so bad, really. Kaine was standing by the window, but it wasn't the teenage Kaine Noah had seen in the 2-white hospital room. This Kaine was an adult, one whose shoulders slump as though set upon by all the world's hardships. He seemed to not have noticed Noah because he was too busy staring out the window. Noah turned to stare too. It was as though the school building had been plucked from its foundations and dropped into the void. Everything was silent beyond the window. And then Noah heard the whispers. They came from everywhere and nowhere all at once. They spat venom and malice. Yet Kaine didn't even move. It's all your fault. How could you? It's all your fault. How could you? Yeah. All your fault. How could you? Dang. You've ruined our family. You're ungrateful. You destroy everything. Is that Kaine's mom? It sounds like her. You've been holding this all for years by yourself, haven't you? You must have been so happy when August died, huh? The voices sounded different. It was tinged with a cruel delight, a sick pleasure. Happy to have Noah all to yourself. Isn't that right? Isn't that right? No, I was jealous, sure. In the back of my mind, maybe I wish he'd never come to the town once or twice, but I didn't want him to die. He was my friend, and Noah loved him. Kaine gripped his chest as if guilt was overwhelming him. Please just leave me alone. I don't have anything else left. For a few moments, he simply watched him, unsure of what to say. What was there to say? So I know you killed my parents, but... Noah shook his head. That'll never work. If Crow had been there still, perhaps he could have asked him for help, but Crow was absent. Bro, this is a conversation you have on your own. Crow might have brought him to Kaine, but it seemed he had chosen to stay behind, not wanting perhaps to intrude on this confrontation. What am I supposed to do? A few moments passed. Noah wasn't sure how many, but he was still inside a dream, and it didn't seem to pass as it should. Noah could have been standing there for seconds, or for hours. What's the point in hanging around here without saying anything, though? I went through a lot of stuff to find Kaine. I can't chicken out now. I've been running away for 6 years. Now it's finally time to be brave. Noah inhaled, and then he took a step towards Kaine and called out to him. Kaine. Gasp. Kaine started at this, so violently that it might have been funny. Was the situation not so grim? Yeah, that's what I was saying too. I didn't even laugh. I'm not laughing. Shut up, it's not funny. He swiveled about, his eyes wide, and then he gasped, Noah, what are you doing here? I'm tempted to ask myself the same question, but I can't bring myself to abandon you, Kaine. Not after everything. What do you mean? How could you stand to see me after everything I did? I thought you despised me. You should. I thought I did too. You lied to me, manipulate me, hurt so many people, but despite all of that, I still think I treated you unfairly. You think that you were unfair to me? Yeah. I care about you, Kaine. I'm so confused about my feelings and what I can or can't forgive, but I do care about you, and I only hope you still care about me. No, of course I do. You're everything to me. I only wanted to make you happy. I only wanted to help you heal. I just wanted to look after you. He looked down at his hands. I became a monster for it. I'm sorry, Kaine. Kaine's eyes widened in surprise. Are you really apologizing to me? There's nothing for you to apologize for. You said it before. You've never asked for this. I was happy to become a monster for you. I still am. I left you. You went through so much alone. I lost August, sure, but you lost August and me. I don't deserve those words, Noah. Save them for someone better than me. I killed your parents. You hated them so much, and because of that, I hated them too. I killed Sebastian, too, and Luca, and I was going to kill Asher before you interrupted me. Why would you ever want to apologize to me? I don't know. I don't have the answer for you. It seems like the right thing to do, I guess. Just go back home, Noah. I'm so thoroughly broken. I don't want to get hurt anymore, especially... Oh, wait. I don't want you to get hurt anymore, especially not by me. I only cause you pain. I wish you would just hate me. But I don't. I can't bring myself to hate you. I can't provide you the happiness you deserve. You don't need to. We both messed up. We both made a mess of our lives. But I still want you by my side. I can't condone your actions, but I do understand your reasoning, even if it's warped. I didn't get it at first, but now... Noah closed his eyes. He thought back to August's final moments in the hospital bed, August's dying plea, and he winced. Look after him, and don't let anybody hurt him. Noah doubted that August had meant for this final plea to be interpreted as in such a bloodthirsty way, but he thought he could see the logic behind Kaine's decision. He'd been trying in his own way to uphold August's final wish. He'd been trying to protect him. I know you didn't act out of malice. Everything you did, it was all for my sake. You didn't derive any pleasure out of killing my parents, did you? Or out of killing our classmates? I've never hated myself more after I did what I did to your father. I had nightmares for days afterwards. I couldn't sleep. I could barely eat. Work was hell. Every time I closed my eyes, I thought about him, his final moments. I was worried I'd done something unforgivable, something evil. And I did. The sins I committed would fill a phone book. And yet, you keep doing it. You seemed more at peace. You started drawing again. You went out of the house. You talked to people again. Talked to me. I told myself if I managed to regain a bit of who you used to be, maybe killing your father wasn't so awful after all. I see. So that's how you justified it. I did my best to. I don't know if I ever really became desensitized to it. I didn't even feel good when I killed Luca. I'd fantasized about hurting him so many times. But killing him, it didn't undo all of the things he'd done. It didn't make him a better person either. It just made him a dead one. It didn't make me feel better. I'd hoped it would make you feel better. Noah digested this information slowly. He continued to hold Kaine's gaze, his fingers curled into fists at his side. He was still inside a dream, but his Hello, stop. My brain's trying to read too many words all at once. I'm just a little guy. I can't help it. His palms felt sticky. Mom's spaghetti. Wah, wah, wah. Oh, wait, his palms are sweaty, isn't it? Oh, whatever. I don't know that song, anyways. His eyes, meanwhile, were stinging. He wasn't crying anymore. Noah was unsure whether he would be able to cry again, but he'd spent all of his tears. But his cheeks were still damp. For a few moments, both men remained silent. Noah observed Kaine, while Kaine observed him. Noah didn't know what to say, what to do. He understood Kaine why Kaine had done what he did. Oh gosh! But just because he understood didn't mean he had to forgive him. Could he forgive him? The silence stretched out longer and longer until... I'd be a hypocrite if I judged you too harshly for your actions, Kaine. I've done terrible things too. Terrible things I didn't even realize I was doing. What do you mean? August, he didn't die because of the fall. He died because I brought him into a dream just once. Crow told me. Humans aren't meant to be in dreams. People like me, well, the both of us apparently, are resistant to the effects, but they kill you. Dreams eat away at your flesh and soul like a poison. I did that to August. I killed him. Noah, you can't blame yourself for that. You didn't know. I don't think ignorance can wash my hands of something like that. I did what I did willingly, and I would do it again if it would help you. What happened with August was an accident. That doesn't matter to me. It feels like my world has come to an end, and I was the one who ended it. But August wouldn't want me to give up now. I've come to terms with it, just like you have. Kaine held Noah's gaze, his brow furrowed. Deeply he inhaled. Then he said in a constrained voice, I don't know if I'll ever come to terms with it, Noah. I suppose I've come to terms with being a horrible person, but I don't know if that's enough. Kaine's voice trailed off. He shook his head. In the beginning, I didn't understand they would really die. I just did it because I was so angry for you. And then they started actually dying in real life. When the news broke, I was pretty freaked out, honestly. I tried to maintain this veneer of normalcy, I guess, because I was terrified that if I let my daily routine slip, things would start falling apart. But inside, I was terrified. I didn't know whether my actions were really what caused your parents' death, and if they were, I was worried that that made me a murderer. For a few days, I kept thinking the police would break down my door, and then when they didn't, you kept going. Mutely, Kaine nodded. I told myself it was for the best. I knew how much your parents had hurt you. I knew that they had to be punished for it, that they'd never been punished for it, not properly. I'd always resented them. Sorry, I sneezed. No, I hated them for the way they treated you. Trying to make you give up on your passions, dictating who you could and couldn't spend your time with, trying to marry you off to some random girl you didn't even know. They didn't treat you right, Noah. They didn't act like parents should. But it's not like I could get them arrested over it. They didn't break any laws. It's not illegal to meddle in your child's private life, but once I realized there was something I could do to help you, something to make people who hurt you pay, I couldn't just sit by and do nothing. It would have felt wrong. I wanted to punish them. All of them. I wanted to make everybody who hurt you regret it. Your parents, your brother, frickin' Luca, Mr. Floyd too. I didn't even know what he did to you, but I was filled with such hate. And look how all that turned out. All a big misunderstanding. I nearly killed a totally innocent man. Kaine's fingers clenched into fists at his side. He trembled. Then he exhaled. Look at me now. A fool with blood on his hands and nothing to show for it. I would have killed more if you hadn't stopped me. Can you really forgive me for that? Noah fell silent for a few moments. You better give me an option, game. He observed Kaine, who was shaking. I don't know, Kaine. I really don't. I wanted this to be my choice, because I would have said yes. If you're going to make me work through all this shit, you can give me a yes, no. And then all the morally amazing people can say no, right? I would have said yes. Because if I sat here for 13 episodes to date Kaine, I don't care if he's a yandere. I'm going to date him. Thanks. I don't know if my words will be enough to absolve you of everything you've done, but you know what? What? I could just have easily asked you how you were able to forgive me. You... what? Kaine blinked, obviously confused. Why would I need to forgive you? What did you do? I left you alone. Your parents were going through the divorce, and your best friend up and died in front of you, and the other one ran away and dropped all contact. I was terrible to you, Kaine, and you stood by me. You always have been there for me, and I never returned the favor. I don't think I'll ever understand how you could just stick by me for all these years and never once end up resenting me. Because I love you, Noah. I always have. I could never resent you. Not as a friend. I love you completely, selfishly, completely unconditionally. The good, the bad, the terrible, the amazing. I love all of you, every part. I really am a pathetic idiot. Here you are showing pity towards a man like me, and here I am telling you I love you. But it's true. My heart has always been yours. It was so hard to love you at times, true, but I've always excelled under difficult circumstances. You know me. Sorry, Noah. For how long? Really? Since the beginning. Before I met August? Long before then. I think I'd liked you ever since we were kids. But it wasn't until we were in middle school that I understood my feelings well enough to think, oh, alright, so I'm in love with him. I mean, as far as I know, most friends don't think about kissing one another. It made me really confused for a long time, just so you know. You thought about that? A little, yeah. Kaine glanced away, a pink flush beginning to spread across his cheeks. And though Noah knew Kaine did terrible things, he knew... Are you trying to make me feel bad? Like, shut up. Trying to make me feel bad? I don't feel bad. Kiss him. What? I see you. They're like, even though I know he's a murderer and he has a bad moral code, I still think he's hot. Yes, I do. You can't make me feel bad for this game. I'm gonna kiss him. He's been my favorite since That's the one you want. That's my man. That's your man. That's mine. That's me right now. He's my Shayla. My Shayla. And he knew Kaine's morals were hopelessly screwed. The sight was still appealing. It was strangely cute in a way. It was a side of Kaine he hadn't seen before. Why didn't you ever tell me? Well, I guess I didn't want to ruin what we had. It worked. Being your best friend was an honor. I was content with that until I wasn't anymore. But what could I do? You had someone else, and I was the mom friend. I was fine as long as you were happy. I know I'm just making things more difficult by telling you now. I'm sorry. I'm really a selfish man. I've just been clinging to an illusion for years. Anyway, imagining that you might one day grow to love me, but you never did, no matter what I did for you. I know you don't return my feelings. I mean, Kaine smiled wistfully. It doesn't matter how hard I try. I'm not August. I'll never be effortlessly charming like him, and that's okay. Noah stared at Kaine with wide eyes. That soft, self-pitying remark was uncannily familiar. Hadn't somebody else had shared these sentiments with Noah? That's right. Crow had said the same thing. I guess he wasn't the only one comparing himself to August. Kaine, you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to be August. I don't want you to be August. You don't? Noah shook his head. My feelings for you are complicated, but you've always been there. You've always been a pillar. I can't lie and say that my heart hasn't raced for you recently. For a while, I would have been willing to sacrifice anything if it could have brought him back. I was prepared to give up the world for him. But I was just living in a fantasy world. Even in dreams, you can't bring the dead back to life. August is gone, and you don't need to live in his shadow. There's no point comparing yourself to a ghost. August was August was August, my guy. Sorry, I'm locked in. August was August, and I loved him. But you're Kaine, and I love you for being you. What? Kaine gasped. What are you saying? Your feelings probably trump mine. I mean, I wouldn't be willing to murder for your sake, I don't think. But you've never spared any effort for my sake. You have a funny way of showing your feelings, but I know I only did what you did because you cared. I was living in the past for too long. You just wanted to snap me out of it. Your tactics were a bit too aggressive, maybe. Noah smiled wryly, well aware of how much he was downplaying all of Kaine's crimes. Can you shut up, please? They're like, even though he's a murderer, I'm like, what, Moira? You're talking to the wrong bitch. I got that what, Moira. Thank you. But it did work. These last couple of weeks while investigating these crimes with you, it felt like I was finally living for my own sake. I've been thinking about my future for the first time in years. You have? Noah nodded. After August died, I gave up on myself. Living seemed to lose all meaning. I couldn't find any joy in anything, not in my art, nor in spending time with you. Everything was gray and dull. Nothing could inspire me. Nothing could move me. I just really did want to die. But you've reminded me that the world has color, and that there's something beyond the pain. I was actually able to enjoy myself while we've been together. You reminded me that life might be worth living after all. I want to keep living. I think August would have wanted that for me too. I know that he wouldn't want me wallowing, so I'm going to try and put the past behind me, and I want to move on. I want to move on with you. I don't want to lose you again, Kaine. I can't. Noah took one step forward and another. Yeah, kiss him! Kiss him! I'm playing. Kiss what? Who said that? You're crazy? Shut up. His throat felt parched after talking for so long. Girl, me too. My water ran out. I sound bad and I know I do. I don't care. He was used to giving long speeches like that. Wasn't. Hell, he wasn't used to saying more than a couple of words, mostly monosyllables, at any one time. His capacity for speech had rapidly diminished after August's death. Without August, Noah hadn't wanted to speak to anybody. He hadn't seen the point. Life without August had ceased to matter. But he had been blind. He hadn't realized that no matter how miserable he'd felt, he'd never been alone. Kaine had always reached out to him when he'd felt his worst. Now, Noah meant to reach out to Kaine in turn. He took Kaine's hands, which were trembling, in his own. His digits squeezed Kaine's hands tightly enough to be possessive. Breathlessly, Kaine inhaled. Noah, is this all right? It's more than all right. Right now, I can't think of anything I want more than being with you. Kaine gasped once again, a tremor running down his spine as the world around them shattered. Shards of sentimental scenery fell around Noah's shoulders like confetti. The desks, the chairs, and the whiteboards broke apart to reveal what had been lying beneath it. Oh, this is cutie as fuck. Was there a button to like... I feel like there was a button to put the thing down, but I don't remember what it is. Oh, shoot. Not that button. Ah, Jeeves. Oh, well. Go back. This is so cute. This looks really cute. Overhead, a starry sky. Around them, tall trees and leaves murmuring in the cool breeze. The moon was full, and the lights played across the rippling riverbanks. So it glinted. There was a gentle breeze which rumpled Noah's hair and the hem of his jacket. Faintly, Noah heard night jars calling amongst the trees. Noah's night had been a long one, full of dreams which ran into one another. A veritable... Ouroboros. of disjointed unrealities that had begun to blend together. But this was real. There was no doubt about it. Noah had finally woken up. He had pulled himself out of the past and out of the dreams, and he'd done so with Kaine. Yeah, we did. Kaine's hands might have been stained with blood, but that didn't stop Noah from gripping his fingers more tightly than ever before. He couldn't bear to let Kaine go, not now. They'd been through far too much together. Noah had never before appreciated just how much Kaine had done for him, but Noah, this might be missing a bit of impact, but after everything that's happened, but I'd rather tell you in this reality than within a dream, so. Shakily, Kaine inhaled, and then he affixed Noah with a serious gaze. I love you. I've loved you for over a decade, and if it's all right with you, then I want to keep loving you, despite everything I've done, despite my mistakes. If you'll let me. Kaine. I know that sounded the same. I could not switch my throat up fast enough. Kaine! Noah's expression softened, but his grip on Kaine's hands did not. He clutched him all the more tightly, as though fearful he too would break away, dissolving into nothingness, just like the classroom. Weakly, he smiled, and then he said in a voice which was so quiet the wind threatened to scatter it, I'd like nothing more. We can work on everything together. Crow told me that people who die in their dreams get stuck in the dream world. Maybe there's something we can do. Maybe we can help the people you hurt. Or maybe we'll never be able to make things right, but I'd still have you just as you are. The ending I wanted. I don't care how I get it. We kissed Kaine, boyfriends, and they were boys. And then carefully, Noah leaned up and kissed Kaine. It was a strange feeling. If I could take a picture right now, I would, and that would be for me. Thank you. Actually, yeah, you know what? I can't save this. Hold on. Actually, wait, hold on. Return. Go back to the... yeah, I want that to be the words on the screen. Save. Yes. Saved forever, nerd. Anyways, it was a strange feeling almost. He hadn't kissed anyone for so many years. It was both softer and harder than he remembered. It was so earnest, desperate. It was real. It was painful, too. Sorrow mingled with pangs of long, dormant yearning. Noah's fingers clutched at Kaine's, trying to find an anchor in this strange new reality. His heart pounded loudly in his ears, and his chest felt far too tight. Although he was unable to draw a breath. But it wasn't uncomfortable. It was anything but. It made him feel alive. It made him feel that after so long spent dreaming, he was finally waking up. Maybe you and I shouldn't be together. Maybe we're the opposite of soulmates. Two people who were never fated to love. But who cares? If it's not what I'm supposed to do. I don't care what we're meant to be. I still want to choose you. My longest friend. You, the person who held my life together during my darkest days. You're beautiful and kind, and I want to love you. Not a fading image of someone who can never come back. And so Noah simply closed his eyes and was taken by the kiss. Everything else would come after. All the difficult things that would still be when they were done, they reopened their eyes. But for now, they were just two people. Two friends from years in the past, letting their feelings be known. Accept the unacceptable. Shut the fuck up. And for now, there's nothing more I want in the world. I want more. Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Dude! Oh, the end! Whoa! I'm gonna be so real. I read so much shit that was like Elle not being able to get like his ending or whatever. like, everyone was like, his ending was so disappointing. And I guess if you look at it from, like, this standpoint of, like, he's a Moidala, maybe? Like, what did everyone say? Dude, everyone had a lot of opinions about, like, Kaine's ending and stuff. For real. I did not. Yeah. Sorry, I saw someone get the same picture I did. It's just good to be true. Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know. Like, my thing about his story is I really preferred to do his over, like, I think my other options were Ivan and Crow. And I think Crow's would have been interesting because I do think somewhere in there, like, Crow is just August. I really do think that. Because as I said, like, when they die like that, they end up stuck in the dream realm. So I'm, like, 2 bajillion% certain that it's, huh? There's an after story. 2 months had passed since Noah and Kaine's attempts at playing detective, a journey which had come to a premature close once Noah had discovered who the culprit was. Noah tried to say goodbye to Asher, but Asher hadn't wanted to speak with him. He had sent his older brother several texts and voice calls, but Asher hadn't replied to any of them. This had perturbed Noah, who had come to feel a degree of sympathy towards his older brother, but in the end he decided to leave it. It's obvious he doesn't want to speak to me. He's too busy sulking. I won't force the issue, but it would be hypocritical of me if I tried. I acted exactly the same when August died. For years I ignored everybody. Asher has the right to do the same thing, especially when he's been the one grieving his relationship with Reuven for just as long. Dang, that's crazy. I'll just give him the time he needs. Really, though, no more alike than I ever realized. Noah and Kaine's journey back home was a stilted one, neither man quite knowing what to say. A lot had happened, and both of them felt shaken. Noah was quite hopeful, however, that his relationship with Kaine would grow strong from the trials they had both weathered. And grow stronger it did. Do I get cutie pictures? Oh, look at their apartment. It was a couple of weeks after their return home that Kaine invited Noah to live with him in his apartment, an invitation that Noah accepted. His lease was about to end anyway, and he didn't particularly want to spend much more time slumming it in his cramped apartment surrounded by ruined canvases. There were too many bad memories there. He had wasted all of his life in that apartment, shrinking away from anybody who tried to help him. He had lived like a hermit, as if imposed isolation would alter the outside world. Perhaps a part of him had hoped, if he refused to engage with anybody, August might come back. This, however, had been a delusion. August was gone, but Noah did have Kaine. Now he meant to stay with him. Noah could not help but regard Kaine differently after knowing he was the mastermind behind the mysterious murders, but he thought he understood why Kaine did all he had done. He had been trying in his own way to uphold his promise he had made with August on his deathbed. He'd been trying to protect Noah. Kaine had gone about it in a manner more aggressive, it was true, than August ever would have advocated, but Kaine had always been an overachiever. Interesting way to look at it, but okay. Noah packed up the few belongings he possessed, a few clothes and some paint supplies which hadn't dried up, and moved into Kaine's apartment. He had thought the sudden change in environment would take a lot of getting used to, but it was easier to adapt than he thought. Noah had known Kaine for years, after all, since they'd both been young boys. Noah knew Kaine and all of his habits inside and out. He was much closer to Kaine than he had ever been with his family. He might have even been closer to Kaine than he was with August. Yeah, probably. He hadn't known August for a full year, but he had known Kaine for almost 2 decades. He had not known, of course, about Kaine's murderous tendencies, but that was long behind him. Can we stop bringing it up if it's long behind him? Y'all can't make me feel bad for this one. I stand by it. I stand by my man. Thank you. Kaine had put an end to his indiscretions, and since his killings had all occurred within dreams, there's no evidence that he was the culprit. Nothing would be pinned to him, no physical evidence at least. Noah, Ivan, and Crow were the only people who knew what Kaine had done, and Noah didn't have the intent to rat him out. He was guilty of much of the same crime himself. Noah didn't see Ivan once that dream from once since that dream from months ago. Whatever connection had with August, Noah thought he might never know. As for Crow, meanwhile, Noah wasn't even afforded the chance to say him goodbye. He had stopped jumping between dreams, which meant he no longer had the opportunity to meet the one who only seemed to exist in them. If Crow wilted, Noah was sure he would have plucked Noah from his slumber into his domain. Willed it, but Crow never did. Perhaps he wanted to keep his distance, knowing what Noah had been through. Did he feel guilty, Noah wondered, for exposing him to Kaine? Maybe he doesn't want to cause me any further pain. He's considerate, but I should have expected as much coming from someone who looks that much like August. He was always putting other people before himself, too. I still can't believe that. When he was dying, he was more worried about others than himself. Is that what it said? Oh, what? Wait, what? Hello. Go back. Worried about me than himself. I don't know if I really deserve that much consideration. But Crow said he wanted me to be happy in the real world, and I want to respect his wishes. I'm going to do my very best. Noah did wonder about Crow from time to time, whether he was lonely or if he existed in the first place, but he was happier living in the present with Kaine. Though he would never forget about August or Crow and Ivan, it was easier to put them from his mind when he was with Kaine. When he and Kaine were together, god dang it, let me just die. Going shopping for groceries, eating dinner in Kaine's spotlessly clean apartment, and sharing the same bed at night. Noah couldn't imagine his life being better than that. He didn't think he deserved to experience a life much better than that, not with August's blood still thick on his hands. But life had one more surprise lined up for him. Asher called Noah a couple months after their parents' funeral, quite out of the blue. Noah hadn't spoken to him since then, and he was surprised to pick up the phone and hear his older brother's voice. Asher sounded oddly subdued. The self-important bite was gone from his voice. Hey, Noah. I know it's been a while, but can we talk? Noah debated this for a few moments, fingers curled around the phone. Before after I'll pause, he agreed. This sentence structure always confuses the hell out of me. Before, he agreed. So before, after a pause, he agreed. But it's just, I don't know, something about it makes my brain melt. He realized, wanted to talk to Asher again. There was a lot between them which remained unspoken, and a lot which needed to be addressed. Noah didn't want to wash his hands of their relationship with Asher altogether. If he wants to talk to me, then I should at least hear him out. Maybe he really has had a change of heart. The phone call with Asher, however, was not particularly illuminating. I know things are a bit strained. Ugh, I hate this. Look, can we talk in person? I won't run away this time. I think I'll be able to explain myself better, maybe. Or who knows, it could be even worse. I don't know. I don't know if I have much faith in myself to not mess things up, but I'd like to give it a shot. Fine, but you have to come to me this time. Alright. You traveled to see me last time, even if it ended in disaster, so it's only fair. It also might be good, too, for me to get out a bit more. I feel like I'm stagnating. The weekend eventually came around, bringing Asher with it. He sounded uneasy on the phone, but he didn't look much comfortable in person. He sat in Kaine's immaculate living room like a sculpture, so stiff that he barely even blinked. His eyes darted around anxiously at the interior decor, as though even that meant him harm. Interesting. Then he swallowed. So, it's a nice place you have here? Thanks. Kaine's reply was a gruff one. He slid a cup of coffee over to Asher. I furnished it myself. Right, you have good taste? I'm aware of that, yes. Why did you come here? Did you not tell him? You need to start talking to him a little more, my guy. Kaine's tone was a little harsh, but at the very least, it wasn't hostile. Asher felt quiet, his brow furrowed. Noah observed him, wondering whether this would be Asher's cue to start insulting Kaine, but right. Noah, my bad. Right. Asher, contrary to Noah's expectations, did not retort to a well-chosen insult. resort. No, it says retort. Win's a win. Though it seemed apparent, judging by the way his left eye twitched, that he really wanted to. I guess he's determined to be on his best behavior after all. I thought he came here to antagonize me, but maybe I had the wrong read of the situation. Noah. Asher turned his attention to Noah, his cup of coffee undrunk on the table before him. I'll level with you. I know it was pretty sudden, me calling you like I did, and it was even more sudden that I asked if we could meet up. And I didn't think you'd agree to it, honestly. I was sure that you would tell me to go fuck myself. And if you had, I wouldn't have blamed you. I know that I deserve it. So he realizes I have a right to hate him. I can't say I expected that. Maybe he has changed. Just a little. That's kind of funny. Don't ruin the moment. Shut up. I may be in love with you, but you better be quiet and be on your best behavior. You have murderous bones in your body, so I need you to chill. You are on timeout. If I see someone that you hate in this house, you better sit down and shut up. Little stinky murderer, shut up. Kaine seemed to share Noah's thoughts because he scoffed. I didn't realize you were that self-aware. Yeah, well, I'm not an idiot, and I know how you two think about me. If you knew, then why did you keep behaving like that? Because I wanted to behave like that. And I was sick and tired, always acting like Mr. Perfect at school and around our parents. It's just, Astor shook his head. Well, that's neither here nor there. I could sit here and make excuses, but that's not why I came. Why did you come here then? What do you want? I was getting to it. It's kind of awkward actually, but our parents' funeral made me think about some stuff. Stuff? Yeah, stuff. I know we've never really seen eye to eye, and I know that's my fault in part, or maybe in full. The way I treated you was really terrible. I told myself it was normal for siblings to argue, but some of the stunts I pulled with you, I don't think that was normal. I went too far, and, well, now we're both orphans, effectively, and I figured it was about time I grew up a little. Words won't make up for all the stuff I said, but for what it's worth, I am sorry. What? Noah stared at Asher, stunned. I've known him for all my life, and I don't think I've ever heard him apologize before. I didn't think he was capable of it. He didn't even apologize to Reuben, not properly when Reuben broke up. What changed? No, I'm sorry. Noah shook his head, feeling a little more than a little overwhelmed. I don't know what to say. Are you being serious? Completely. Trust me. It's freaking killing me. I did some soul searching after our parents bit the bullet, and I decided... Ugh, Asher sighed. It's corny, but we're family, right? And that means we should stay together and stick by one another. That's why I called you all those months ago, actually, after the news broke. I wanted to try and mend things with you then. I was going through some tough stuff, and I thought it'd be nice, I guess, being able to talk things out with you. I wanted to try being honest with you, but you brought over Lover Boy with you. Asher cast a glance at Kaine. And being honest with him around is just, I don't know. I couldn't handle it. I felt on edge already, since I was already doing all the funeral prep, but seeing you with Kaine and him fawning all over you, like you were the freaking most important person in the universe, it stung, I guess. I was just being selfish and stupid because of Reuben. Asher swallowed his words. But I shouldn't blame you for my problems. It's not your fault Reuben stopped talking to me. I brought it on myself. And that was another thing I tried to pin on you, because it was easier than facing up to my own flaws. But that was years ago. I'm older now. Heck, I'm closer to being 30 than 20, and it's pretty embarrassing, isn't it, for a grown man to pin all of his problems on his younger brother? I think it is, at least. I wasn't willing to listen to what Reuben said, but he was right. I didn't treat you right. And I'm your older brother, so... Asher inhaled. He squared his shoulders. And then in a manner which was oddly noble coming from Asher, he said, I think it's high time I acted like it. I'm gonna stop lashing out. It didn't do me any good. It only drove people away from me. You, and Reuben too. I see. Are you trying to be nice to me then, for Reuben's sake? Is this your way of atoning? In part, I guess. I'd be alive. It'd be a lie if I said I was being wholly selfless, but nobody's wholly selfless, right? We all do things because we think they'll benefit us in some way, even saints. Otherwise, what's the point? Nobody wants to suffer. I suppose. Yeah, he really can't talk. He sacrificed everything. Name, not being a murderer. That he was like, I let the world burn. King. I think I can understand where you're coming from. Wow. Asher smiled wryly. Are you actually going to agree with me on something, Kaine? I thought you hated me. I did hate you. I despised you. I wasn't prepared to forgive you after the way you treated Noah, but I'd like to believe that people can change too. I have to, or I couldn't live with myself. That's what Reuben said to me too. He said that he didn't like the person I was, but he thought I could become someone better. I disregarded at the time like an idiot that I am. But Reuben's pretty smart. I'm getting distracted. I didn't come here to talk about Reuben. Do you miss him? Of course I miss him every day. But I don't think I was worthy of spending time with him, not with the way I was. I was just dragging him down. I don't want to be like that now, though. I'm gonna change. I think I have to if I don't want to die alone. It'll be difficult, but you were able to change, Noah. And I've just stayed the same jerk. But you're doing all right now. You're living in this nice apartment, and you even have a partner. Yeah, he does. Guess what? And if there's hope for a mess up like me, too, I just need to believe in it. As long as you're alive, then you can change. I really do believe that. If you're willing to give moving forward with each other a try, then so am I. Maybe we can grow closer as people because we've both seen rock bottom. And if not, I mean, if we still hate each other after this, it's okay, I guess. At least we tried. No, look towards Kaine, towards his future. Yeah, at least we tried. You should call him, Asher. I think you'd both be surprised. Maybe I will. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Ooh, whoa, whoa. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa. Oh, he's gone. That's so cool. He's gone because we accepted that he died. Because this was August before. We accepted that he died, so he's gone in the title screen. That's so cool. Oh my god, what a fever dream. I've been sitting here for far too long. Oh my god. I've literally, dude, I'm telling you, I've been here too long. I was like, I'll record one of these today. I recorded for you guys 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of these. I think 3 of them are 2 hours long. Because I just like pain, I guess. I guess that's just it, isn't it? I just love pain. But, what a crazy ride. I know that a lot of people were really sad about Kaine's route. I kind of wasn't, honestly. I honestly really liked what I got. Because, number one, him being, like, a killer for Noah's sake. Dude, that so makes sense. Quit playing. That totally makes sense. I was like, I don't know who it would be. And then they were like, oh, well, it's all a bunch of people that, you know, like, I thought about it. And I was like, oh, well, it has to be someone who cares about Noah. And it's obviously not him. And August is dead. I'm really glad they didn't have him go, like, be super crazy. I think it would have been cool. I think it would have been cool if he was, like, full-on yandere. But he basically was a yandere. He basically was like, you hurt my man and I kill you. And I was like, dang, that's crazy. I really like that. That was so tea. That was so tea. It took a while to get there. It took a while to get there. Something that I appreciate between this one and I get that it's just because it's a lot more storytelling. And it might just be also because it's where the puzzles are supposed to go. Because remember, this game actually has puzzles, but I took them out because I broke the game. But, the only thing that I like between this one and A Date Between Death is A Date Between Death doesn't take 3,000 years to describe a scene and then spend a lot more time repeating describing the same scene. Like, that's what I felt like. That's why I made these episodes longer, is it felt like I was just repeating the same scenery description over and over and over again. And don't get me wrong, I think they write very beautifully. It's gorgeous writing. I think it paints the scene very well, makes it very dramatic. It's really like Touchstone vibes. Oh, love that too. But like, oh god, it went on forever sometimes. I was like literally, I don't know if it's this episode or the one before this, but literally there was a point where I was like, this is the 18th time I'm reading this. I don't need to read this again. I know that this is the river we dropped the books in. Moving on. It's been something that we've talked about since the beginning. I know. But oh my god. Despite all that, dude, I didn't think I was gonna like this game, but I do really like it. I thought it was so fun, so cool. I got what I wanted. I got what I wanted. I got what I wanted. I wanted to date Kaine so bad. It's all I wanted. It's all I wanted. It's all I wanted. But yeah. That is it. I will not be playing the other routes. I'm gonna be real. Just because it would take a lot to go through, and I don't want to do that. And this is my true ending, I think. This is what I would have done, no matter what. So, if you want to play this game for yourself, it is on Steam. I think it's like $20 or something like that. $20. I would go for it. And I really like 2.5 Studios. They made this one, and they made A Date with Death. And that one is free, except for the DLC. So if you want to play that, that's also on there. But, that's it from me. We're done with this, and I don't know what we're moving on to next. That's a surprise for next Monday. You'll figure that out. You'll figure that when I do. Hopefully another dating sim. A shorter dating sim, hopefully. Probably not, because I'm very bad at gauging what short is, apparently. I did get a new capture card. So hopefully we can start doing some of my Switch games. But we'll see. So, I hope you had so much fun. Possibly more fun than I had. And I will see you all with a new Let's Play next time. Bye!